Do the holidays and grief really go hand in hand for you right now? If that's the case, it's a really heavy, overwhelming state to be in. And with that, there's no real cure. But I believe with all my heart, there are tips and strategies in navigating through the holidays when you're dealing and facing grief. And the reality is, it's about not facing it alone. So as we go forward, one of the things I really want to look at is the aspect of grief, whether that is something that is fresh, it's happened within the past few months, the past year, or it's been 60 years. Grief really has no timeline, and it comes in waves. Holidays can really accentuate feelings of loss and even kind of a tidal wave of times of emotions you maybe haven't had in a really long time. So knowing as we go forward, the first thing I want to look at is the aspect of being kind to yourself. Kindness is something we can sometimes as human beings, it can be easier for us to pass that on to others rather than onto ourselves. Being kind to ourselves can look like a totally different thing that can be foreign to some of us. Be kind to yourself when it comes to the road you were traveling this time of year. Well, what the heck does that look like? It starts with not allowing yourself, stopping yourself from comparing where somebody else might be in their grief journey. We can be extreme weirdos when it comes to looking around and thinking, well, they're further along than I am. I should be doing this, or why am I so exhausted? Why do I just cry at a drop of a hat? And it's been this long. Stop. STOP, those thoughts, because there truly is no cookie cutter version. Even though there's tons of books about it, there's tons of talks. I'm doing a chat with you right now about it. There's no cookie cutter version of grief. Your journey is your own. It is individualized. Emotions will fluctuate. Different times a year, different times in your journey of grief. Take a deep breath and remind yourself, my journey is my own. There's no right, there's no wrong. There is you and your journey. So it's saying be kind to yourself. What does that also look like? Okay, so I'm working on being kind to myself. Being kind to yourself also goes in the aspect of who are you surrounding yourself with? Allowing yourself to be around positive and encouraging people, right? It doesn't have to be, hey, we're feeling super awesome today. Okay, relax, take a deep breath. I'm not feeling super awesome. Positivity comes in a lot of different forms. People that are not making us feel worse when it comes to our grief journey, especially during the holidays. Having people that, whether it's family members, whether it's friends, whether it be people that you work with, being really, as much as you can, even when our emotions are really, really heightened and our energy level can really kind of dissipate a little bit, the people we surround ourselves have a whole lot of impact on our grief journey. Where if we're around people who are reinforcing us feeling crappy or us feeling deflated, well, that seeps into us. We absorb that. So it's people that person who, hey, we're going to go get a cup of coffee, or hey, I know you've been in bed a few days. I'm going to drop off this lasagna I made, or these chicken tenders, a little honey mustard, right? People that I am going to say truly fill our cup. When your cup is really running low, and that happens big time when we are going through the grief process. And the grief process, I'm really going to say, is really kind of a lifetime journey, and it really, really fluctuates. In the beginning, it's that super duper roller coaster, but as time goes on, grief is different, and you can get slammed 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 years later at a certain moment with a certain song. Do not feel guilty about that. It's remembering that person and whatever that kind of brings with it. And maybe that's a time we're coming back to being kind to ourselves. It's like, I need to go for a cup of coffee with somebody. I want to go for a walk. That positivity, that KIND, that four-letter word really, really, really holds a whole lot of power and substance to the grief journey, especially during the holiday season. Its significance is pretty massive. without question. I want to go into another facet of grief in the holidays. It can be tempting, but I say with all my heart, do everything that you can to not cancel the holidays. It's so tempting, or so, I don't even want to use the word easy, because it's not, there's nothing easy about it, but where we can just say the book's closed, there's no tree this year, we're not lighting the menorah this year, there's no this, and it can be easy to do. You know, looking at that empty plate or that tradition of going caroling really can be just gut-wrenching when that somebody is not here anymore, and it's easy to just not, and then it can become even more difficult to continue those traditions that really are significant to us. And the pieces might seem really shattered, and you just want to stay under the covers. You just want that person. It's been, I guess now it'll be the third Hanukkah without my grandmother. She was 99 years old, and man, she had a really good life that in no way takes away or detracts from me missing her, thinking about her, really especially during certain times of the year, whether it's Thanksgiving, whether it's Hanukkah. It doesn't change. It's been 20 plus years since I've had a Christmas with my sister, and there's times it really it hurts. I miss her. I will miss her till I take my last breath. But Christmas this year is very different from what Christmas was. The first Christmas, in 2000. It's different, and this is what we need to tell ourselves. Grief is a journey. Grief is kind of like a funky roller coaster. I'm driving home the other day from the airport, right? A song comes on, and like one I haven't heard in a while, but I just started crying, like super ugly cry. And it's pre-Thanksgiving, and I don't know, just a mix of emotions, and I started crying. I'm not apologizing for that. I was in the car. If anybody was with me, whatever, I'm not apologizing, but we need those moments. The holidays can do interesting things to us, doing our best to not cancel. So Aaron, what else can I do, right? This year, man, can we supplement? Can we create we're not doing away with old traditions, but it may be for right now, it's bobbing and weaving a little bit and coming up with some new things or different things that can fill your heart. You are still hurting, but it's a different thing. So maybe I'm going to volunteer. Creating new traditions. It could be volunteering. It could be doing, I'm going to do a 5K. I'm doing a turkey trot, baby. I'm throwing it down. I'm going to walk it. I'm going to run it. Thinking of new things that could possibly just bring you an element of joy and giving yourself permission. This is another big one that really kind of ties in with the aspect of being kind to ourselves. We can beat ourselves up with saying, and maybe not even realizing, like this subconscious state of, I can't have joy, I can't be happy, I can't laugh because that person's not here anymore. We could be really, really hard on ourselves. And in the course of, the past, I'm going to say like 30 years of my life, I've had kind of a journey where it's this realization, these people, and there's many that like are no longer here. I think about if they were sitting at the table, right, or they're in the car with me, what would they say? Would they want me? And who is that person in your life? Would they really want me to be so gutted? Would they really want me to cancel the holiday? Would they really? And I know that sounds kind of strange, but it's like, okay, I am giving myself permission. I'm acknowledging that, holy smokes, do I miss this person? But it's okay to have and receive joy. It's okay to, I'm going to do this community walk because it's not a total focus on what isn't. But I'm going to go for a walk and I'm going to be with people that I care about. This year, maybe we're going to the tree's not going to be as elaborate. We're going to do this. Getting creative with where it's still acknowledging the holidays, but it's also preparing ourselves, kind of layering ourselves. And that's harder to do when it has been fairly recent, a loss of somebody. But guarding ourselves and finding ways to strengthen ourselves before the holidays even occur. Well, what does that look like? Well, that goes with back to the kindness modality. I am going to be kind to myself. I'm not going to compare myself to people. I am going to surround myself with people that are encouraging. Also, those people that I believe in that will call you out when it's like, you know what, man, you've been in bed for a few days. I'm going to drop off some coffee. Or do you want to go for a walk? It doesn't have to be deep all the time, but those people that will just kind of envelop you and care for you. And not everybody's super comfortable with that. And they might be, instead of like, I'm going to sit and talk with you, but I'm dropping off coffee, or I'm going to send you a text. Those kind of things. And you could say, Aaron, I can't even think straight. Is there somebody in your life that you can kind of throw these things at that then can, kind of take that and run with that, and letting people, places and things, and connecting them that, like, okay, we're making sure that you're in a good place and we've got your back. Going through any element of grief, but especially during the holidays by ourselves, is a big N-O to the N-O. No, my friends. We could try. We could say, I don't want anybody around me. I want to punch everybody I see, or I want to cry, an ugly cry, whatever it is. Going it up ourselves can just make the process even harder. Being in the trenches of grief, feel even more lonely and isolated. It is really, really, really hard. But I will tell you and encourage you to not try to go at it alone. And this is where we're going to kind of get into the last aspect of it that kind of flips the tables a little bit. Of if you are somebody who has a friend or a family member who is going through grief, or who really is not looking forward to the holidays, and there's a lot of people out there, that it's keeping that person that you care about in mind, kicking them a text, sending them a card, saying, hey, is there anything I could do for you? I'm thinking about you. And you don't have to talk. Just the aspect of being present and allowing that person to know that, hey, I'm thinking about you. You're in my head. You're on my heart. I'm praying for you. Can I cook a meal, or can I drop off some cookies? Can I boom, boom, boom? And where are you comfortable? And kind of throwing that out to that person, because for many people, the holidays are really hard. It can be tough stuff, and providing that encouragement and kind of giving that shout out, that hug, that fist bump, that whatever you are good with, and rolling with it. There's a lot of different holidays that can be tough for a lot of people. Holidays that include Mother's Day, Father's Day, that bring with it a lot of baggage. And I will say this, your journey is your own. Be kind to yourself. Take a deep breath. There is no right or wrong. And it is okay to not be okay through this. But what's not okay is trying to go at it all by yourself. What's not okay is kind of getting in a mode of just being under the covers every single day for days or weeks at a clip, where it sucks the life out of you. And that person that's no longer here, whoever they are, would not want to see you like that. And man, it's hard. And man, can it seem overwhelming. And just, where is that light at the end of the tunnel? Holy smokes, it could be tough. But be kind to yourself. Know you're not alone. Having some form of a support system. Realizing it's okay to start new traditions. That's okay. It's okay to have elements of joy even when you're exhausted and you don't feel very joyful. It's kind of like, when you're doing a load of wash, right? You have everything in there, and if you just kind of opened it midway through, everything's kind of everywhere. Nothing really makes sense, right? Everything's kind of jumbled. That's grief, right? The socks are in with the sweatpants, and the towels, and they're not towels and clothes, but yeah, everything is thrown together, baby, and it's mixed up. Grief is different for everybody. So as you go forward, be kind to yourself. Know that you're not alone. Guard your heart and know that you are an amazing human being. And as you face this, know that I'm thinking about you. And as we go forward today, I just want to send you a profound amount of peace, love, and goodness, my friends.